A new season, hope blossoms anew for England. It promises to be a season full of excitement, increased competition and off-the-field controversy. And to reflect it all, a new series of Rugby Special. It all starts with exclusive rugby club, the Barbarians. 100 years old, and the Barbarians have cast their net wide for their team to play England. All Blacks, Wallabies, French, 2 Welshmen, an Irishman and a Scot. 4 changes in personnel from the one which lost to Scotland in the Grand Slam match last season. Tony Underwood is on the left wing, a replacement for the injured Chris Oatey. Jason Leonard, a young man of immense promise, is at loose head. John Olver hooks, and Dean Richards makes a welcome return at number 8 after his shoulder injury. The Barbarians field players from 6 countries, and as tradition demands, have selected 1 uncapped player, Eric Rush, the Auckland open side flanker. North Auckland's Ian Jones, who made such a spectacular impact against Scotland in the summer, locks the scrum with the Australian giant Steve Cutler. And behind Michael Lynagh and Nick Farr-Jones are surely the smartest halfback operators in the world. Their 3 quarters are rich in talent. Commentators for the game, sponsored by National Power, are Eddie Butler and Nigel Starmer-Smith.
Derek Bevan, the referee from Wales, who had charge of the second test between New Zealand and Scotland this summer, and the Barbarians in club socks, of course, to kick off through Michael Lynagh. And a first touch for Dean Richards. England keeping it close and tight, and players clambering over in their enthusiasm. And the penalty awarded. Garvey and Stanley, could be an overlap here. Murphy up in the line. The switch inside is from Campese to Lafond. Carving up the midfield still. Taken on by Watkins. The cover tackling's pretty solid, but England having to scurry back just outside their 22. Remember, the ball's slippery. Great work by Lafond to Charvet. Slips it to Kenny Murphy to Campese. Campese against Tony Underwood, but Campese's in. Well, it was brilliant sleight of hand, and it was the combination of 2 Frenchmen that set it up originally. Jean-Baptiste Lafond and Denis Charvet to set up the overlap. And what a recovery from a ball picked up off the deck. But there was the brilliance, and there was the creation of the overlap. Murphy judged it well, and Campese, well, you can't stop him from that distance and that chance. Reece standing off quickly in the fray, return pass from Richard Hill. And Ackford drives. Hill again. Quite that fluency that we remember from last season's internationals. Hill again. Inside is Reece. Reverse pass for Richards onto Teague. 5 metres out from the line, it's Dean Richards driving. He'll get there. What a return for the Leicester number 8. Dean Richards back with a vengeance. His first time at Twickenham for 18 months. And back to level the scores after 27 minutes.
It was an absolute dream start for Gary Reece, coming on as substitute for Peter Winterbottom. Good break down the blind side. But this pass from Gary Reece, he sees that the cover is coming across. Inside reverse pass to Richards. Good support from the slower members of the back row. And once Richards gets the ball from 3 yards out, nobody's going to stop him.
Hodgkinson. Yes. To take the lead after almost 29 minutes and bring succour and comfort for England. Kenny Murphy with the pass from Farr-Jones. That was a bit high by Carling. But play on, says referee Bevan. England step up a notch or two now. Referee has seen the hand by the Barbarians. Penalty to England on the halfway. And the tension mounts a bit, just a little flail of arms by Yannick against Gary Rees. Well, a dream arrival on the scene by Rees, who's in possession again. Followed by Rush, but away by Hill. Andrew Carling. Taken well by Hodgkinson, ships it onto Underwood, runs through Campisi. Just outside the 22, and again, they're rolling over in desperation to kill it, and getting on the wrong side. Is it a worker? Oh yes, tucks in at the junction of the upright and the crossbar. And England go 9-4 ahead. Waits. Held by Phil Davies still. And taking it off. Yannick in support. Only a metre from the line. And a penalty. Two penalties in the conversion missed by Liner. Hard to believe. This to make it 9-7. That's more like it. So the world's leading point scorer back in the groove. Hill, Andrew, swiftly. Guscott breaks one tackle, breaks two. Olver has it. No try. But that was done at pace and incisive. Worked so hard on his technique. Gary Rees, held by Phil Davies, but it flicks back kindly to Hill. Andrew, Carling, Guscott there. Outside long is Rory Underwood, ducks inside Campisi, floats it out to Hodgkinson. What a try! Oh, that's a gem. Well, this was superb three-quarter play by England. Again, the anticipation and quick thinking. The lovely step inside on Campisi, the pass overhead. Hodgkinson had anticipated everything so well and got his reward. Now the conversion attempt by him of his own try. Oh, that's some kick. And after the disappointments of the early misses, more than made up for it. In the meantime, problems though as Keith Haas escorts Carl Yannick off the field. Keith Haas there, the Barbarian trainer, who's only missed 2 Barbarian games in the last 20 years. Andrew anxious to get on with it. Gary Rees is still on the deck, and there'll be no hurry as Carling pulls up Hodgkinson for the head-on kick to the post. Hodgkinson, no problem at all. And England extend their lead then to a more comfortable position of 18-7 with 17 minutes played of the second half. John Olver. No, I've left that. Ackford. Richards coming for the peel around the front. But held up. Right through those fabulous days that have graced the club. Looking down, and nostalgia, the name of the game on this occasion. So, they'll run, I'm sure. Far Jones. Too low. There's Rush. Rush with the dummy hold. Now Neil back, his support outside. Joe Stanley, wide out is Campisi. Campisi floats it over the head, back inside, Far Jones to the corner, and Phil Davies rounds it off. That's what they deserve, because that was in the best of Barbarian traditions. That was one to savour, and it's no wonder that Phil Davies smiles in delight as the crowd stand to a man in celebration. Mickey Steelbodger, the president, the 6th only in the history of this club, will savour that moment, and Her Royal Highness too, I'm sure. What a burst and what a breakout from Lowe to Eric Rush. Look at his acceleration and his intelligence in waiting to see the availability. Back it was, then Stanley, and Campisi, only he, I think, over the head. Neil back again, almost Far Jones, but certainly Phil Davies, a gem. Just a couple of metres in from touch. Oh yes, and the Barbarians now one converted try behind, and it's there for the taking for either side. Far Jones, Liner, Stanley. This move to Campisi. Anything could happen here. Still gets the pass away. Liner beautifully in support. Gliding sweetly. From Murphy back to Liner again. Inside his rush. Grappling, fighting to set it back. And Far Jones pointing to the England player infringing. And a penalty with a margin of 5 points. They want to close it to 2 and hope for an extra scoring chance to follow. The world's leading point scorer. Sweetly done. A tackle. We count down to 2 minutes. Dummies the kick and sets one across for Campisi to chase. Hodgkinson, though, is positioned well. And Rory Underwood pulls it back for England. Gary Rees on the 10-metre line. Barbarian half. Now Hill sniping on the narrow side. Murphy covering, but in trouble, but he hurried away well. Liner wants to run it, and he's got Lafond, but not much more than that. And he's trying to get out of all sorts of bother, but succeeding so far. Lafond again, finds eventually Murphy, then Campisi. Crowd applauding in unrelenting fashion now as the Barbarians try to keep it alive and keep it going. What a club and what a tradition. Ave, Campisi, Murphy, Lafond. Murphy again. Still Liner, inventive, but good work from Older. England unrelenting now, and it's Teague up to Tony Underwood. The ball in touch. And that's the final flourish. England victorious, 18 points to 16. But as with Barbarian rugby, it's not the result that counts, but the manner in which the game is played. We salute the club, and we salute